All right, this is John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. We're here in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm traveling. I'm here because of the Natural Products Expo East. This is the largest trade show for the health food industry. And in my opinion, there's no other better product that's good for your health than appliances such as the juicers, blenders, and dehydrators that allow you to get more fresh fruits and vegetables in you. It's quite sad that most of the products here are things in a bottle, package, and jar, and they're not going to give you the health you want or desire. In my opinion, it's about doing the right things and living a healthy lifestyle, including healthy diet, which includes lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, and also getting proper sleep, exercise, stress-free living, and the such, and other lifestyle factors. So what we're gonna do in this episode is actually go into the Natural Products Expo, and we're gonna go to the Kuvings booth, and we're gonna show you guys how you can make nut milk or almond nut milk using the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Once again, instead of buying products like nut milks that they're showing inside, I want you guys to have the tools to allow you to make it yourself. This is truly more natural. You're gonna make sure and you have the highest quality nutrients in the foods, because once they start packaging and processing foods, nutrition goes down, shelf life goes up. I want you guys to make things fresh, most amount of nutrition with the shortest shelf life. And when you have the tools to do that, you can do that at home. So actually, let's go head inside and check out the Kuvings booth. Share with you guys the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer and how to make almond nut milk. So now we're inside the Natural Products Expo East, and we're gonna go over to the Kuvings booth and show you the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. And one of the cool things at the Kuvings booth is actually they kind of showed you the evolution of juicers through like the old school centrifugal ejection juicers on up to the latest Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. So let's go ahead and show you guys the latest Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. So as you guys can see, they got all the different Kuvings models, and many of you guys may own a juicer kind of like this one right here. This is the Kuvings centrifugal ejection machine. This is also sold under many different brands, you know, that are similar in design. Basically, it's the old school design. You put the produce in, there's a fast spinning grating disc inside here, which grates the produce. It flings it against the screen and then it ejects out. So this is like the juice fountain that's very popular. Many juicers that you'd buy at a department store are built like this, although the quality of the Kuvings definitely surpasses most of them in my opinion. Next, after this style, then they figured, you know, hey, there's a better way to juice instead of at high speed that oxidizes the juice, you know, that causes probably some nutrient degradation. We can do this better. So then they had this style machine, the Kuvings horizontal single auger machine. So this works on a totally different principle. The first machine and many of the centrifugal ejection machines run at 10,000 plus RPMs. This runs at a low 80 RPMs. This works differently. What you do is you put the produce into the top here, and it basically goes in to this little auger. And this auger is much like your old-fashioned meat grinder. You put the stuff in there, this spins around, and it crushes and reduces the size of whatever you're putting in there. It's then literally pressed against the screen and the juice is expelled out. So, you know, these are great machines if you're juicing mostly, you know, leafy greens and wheatgrass and things like this, but it kind of backs up on fruit. So the next technological advance in juicing was actually the vertical single auger machine, such as this one here. And this one works on a little bit different premise. It actually has the same style of auger, but instead of running horizontally, it runs vertically here. So this takes less counter space on your kitchen. Also, this is better optimized at juicing a wide range of fruits and vegetables. And there are many different vertical auger juicers on the market at this time. And the one thing they all share in common is basically a small feed chute like this one. So Kuvings has taken this technology to the next level and totally redesigned the machine with a nice large 3-inch wide feed chute. And in addition, they had to totally redesign the inside of the machine, including the auger. The auger has been completely redesigned, which is unlike any auger on other vertical auger machines. Most of them are similar to this. This is actually a lot larger, and because it has a wider feed chute, it makes juicing, especially the fruits, much easier. The Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is my choice that I pick for juicing fruits in my kitchen every time I want to juice fruits, whether that's cactus fruits, watermelons, or cantaloupes. this large feed chute allows me to cut big, large pieces of fruits and put them in there, and in some cases, not even cut up my fruits, such as apples. You could put in there without slicing. This will save you 40 to 60% more time over other machines that you have to cut up everything into like a nice small feed chute, you know, like many other vertical juicers. So with every juicer, there are pros and cons, and I like the Kuvings a lot because of the wide feed chute. That being said, you know, if you are juicing leafy greens and celery, just because there's a large feed chute doesn't mean you could cram the stuff in as fast as you can. I still recommend you pre-cutting celery and leafy greens up to, you know, fit in there so they be properly processed without clogging up the ejection port. Now, juicing is definitely an excellent way to get more fruits and vegetables in you, and that's what I believe everybody should be doing. The standard American diet is very, you know, poor, and they eat, you know, minimal amounts of fruits and vegetables. They eat high amounts of animal products, processed foods, and junk foods, and we want to eat more fruits and vegetables. And that's why I like the Kuvings products, because they allow you to do that. Now, they are demonstrating juicing here today, but besides just juicing, I want you guys to get off other animal products such as milks, right? People get addicted to milk. John, what am I gonna put in my cereal every morning if I'm not putting cow's milk or goat's milk or sheep's milk or emu milk, right? Well, might try human milk, just joking. But actually that would be the most natural milk for us. But besides that, I would recommend using nut milks. This is a great way to get off dairy, get the lactose out of you. Many people have lactose intolerances. And in my opinion, you know, milk is just not something necessary. There's nothing in milk that we cannot get from other foods, and a nice substitute for milk is almond milks. And yes, you can make almond milks, coconut milks, and other nut milks with the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, as well as other vertical auger juicers that tend to work better on this function, although some definitely work better than others. Today I'll be demonstrating, showing you guys how to make almond milk, but you could easily enough make hazelnut milk, macadamia nut milk, cashew milk, hemp milk, one of my favorites, or even my favorite of them all, coconut milk. So let me go ahead and demonstrate how to make some almond milk in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. So now we're going to show you guys how to make almond milk with the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer or other vertical juicers. Now, the best vertical juicer to use and to make almond milks or other nut milks with is ones with a juice flap here. Very important. You can use machines that do not contain this little flap, but it's going to be far better if you have one inside, because what the flap allows you to do, it allows you to do mixing inside the machine, and it makes it much more optimal for this particular task. So it's super simple to make the nut milks, and we're going to go ahead and pull out the 3-inch wide pusher here and just show you guys how just literally we could put in whole apples into this. And that's truly the beauty of the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. It makes juicing much easier and more convenient to do. With the almond milk or any of the nut milks, what you're going to want to do, very important, this is very important to do, you're going to take your almonds, right? You're going to take almonds and soak them in water overnight, right? Then you're going to pour off all the soak water, because you do not want to use the soak water. The soak water that you pour off will have enzyme inhibitors and other things in there that you do not want to consume. Once you pour off the soak water, then you're going to add back a clean filtered water to it, which then you're going to pour in the clean filtered water with the soaked almonds through the machine to make your nut milk. So I've already poured off the soak water. These have actually been already sprouted nuts. And so now we're ready simply to pour this through. Now you might be wondering, John, what is the ratio I use to make a nut milk? Well, that varies widely, depends on how thick and creamy you like your nut milk. Some people might like their nut milks like very watery. I like it like really creamy. So what I'm doing is I used about 2 cups of almonds here, and about up to 32 ounces of water. So I probably used about 28 ounces. But use 2 cups to 32 ounces. That's going to make a nice, delicious nut milk. And what we're going to do is, first, very important, we're going to close this spout here. And it'd be best to have like a ladle and ladle in a little bit of nuts and the water at the same time to let it process. We're just going to simply go ahead and pour some water with some of the nuts in there. And what you're going to see, the water is going to be kind of like clear in there. And as the machine works, as it kind of grinds things up, you could see the water change and get more of a milky color. And literally what the juicer is doing, it's extracting all the valuable fats vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and phytonutrients out of the nuts and infusing it into the water to make your own nut milks at home, so that you do not have to purchase nut milks that have carrageenan, preservatives, extra sugar, and all this kind of stuff, right? Once you make your nut milks at home, you can flavor it with honey if you want. You can flavor it with agave. You could put in, some vanilla extract, or I would use vanilla bean, spice it up with some cinnamon, right? So many different options when you make it yourself at home fresh. And anything you make at home fresh, always gonna have higher levels of nutrition. I truly want you guys to get off processed foods, all kinds of processed foods, and start eating natural foods, things that do not have ingredient labels. Instead of buying almond milk with an ingredient label, buy the almonds, get some filtered water, make your own almond nut milk at home. So once this works, we're gonna go ahead and pour some more nuts and some water. Once again, we're gonna let that process and let this mixture get nice and creamy. And you guys can see here the pulp coming out over on this side. We're literally taking and juicing all the nuts here. And once again, you're gonna wanna watch this. Once this gets up to a certain level, you do not want this to overfill. So then you're gonna go ahead and open the little door here and look at all that delicious almond nut milk coming out. Next, we're gonna go ahead and close that, and we're gonna pour in more of the water and the almonds. And you wanna try to get equal proportions of almonds to water. This is very important. If you pour in mostly water and like 2 almonds, you're not gonna get a good nut milk. Very important to get really even distributions. I'm doing a fairly good job, but once again, it'd be much more efficient if I had a ladle to ladle out even portions of nuts to water at a time to let the machine work. The other thing you do not want to do when using the spout cap is to just leave it open and let everything pour out. You really want to get that infusion of the nut, milk into the water and work pretty good. And as you guys can see, I'm only letting it get up to about 3/4 full and letting it literally infuse in there. And we're gonna let it run until the pulp stops moving out, and then we can go ahead and open this guy up and a much more delicious vegan almond nut milk. Let's go ahead and pour the rest of this stuff up. Don't forget, before you pour the rest in, close that little flap again. There you go. You could literally hear the juicer grind up, pulverize all the nuts, and extract the delicious goodness out of them. And as you guys can see, so this nut pulp here, if you really wanted to be cheap, you could actually re-soak this in water and then run it back through again to wring out more of the delicious almond milk goodness. You could also use this in recipes, in your baked goods. You could dehydrate this in your dehydrator and still put it on top of cereals or just snack on it. So many uses. It's gonna be mostly fiber with very little fat. If you pulverize this even more with like a Vitamix, you could pulverize it into almond meal, or basically almond flour that you can use in baked goods. I want you guys once again to focus on whole foods, and when you're buying almond milk and not, eat in the almonds and the fiber rich parts, you're missing out. So yeah, eat all the entire foods, and the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer allows you to do that. Let's go ahead and pour out this last bit of nut milk, and man, that is some rich and creamy nut milk there. All right, so now the moment I've been waiting for, we're gonna go ahead and close this little spout cap here so we don't get any drips on the counter. We're gonna go ahead and take this nut milk here, and we're gonna go ahead and sample that out for you guys. Look at this, rich, creamy almond nut milk made with the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, and this is gonna be so delicious. Definitely really good. Almond milk made with the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. You can make almond nut milk with the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer with the pulp flap, or virtually any other vertical auger juicer with the pulp flap. Super simple, super easy. Once again, besides just juicing the fruits and vegetables, make some almond nut milks, get that cow milk and other dairy products out of your life for better health. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors. All right, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. And what we're going to do today is we're going to share with you guys my top 3 best vertical single auger juicers. Now, the last one of these videos I did back in February.